We always wanted to teach you how to do principles. Like we want to focus on principles. Like the tactics, there are 1,000 different tactics that are going to cover the same principle, right? And what I'm hearing you say and what I tell them is like, we can sit here, we can plan right down to the exact tactic. However, if something changes and you're that narrowed down, that's going to ruin your entire plan. And what's your plan B? Like what have you done? So what you really need to focus on is what's the principle that you need to follow by, and then be adaptable to apply a tactic that will work for that specific situation that is still within that principle.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
It
And
does. You put into very simple words what it just took me 20 minutes to try and explain.
no, no. I think yours is more simplistic than mine. Mine's very, very unique. If somebody's involved in law enforcement, they get it. But it also covers like almost every game. Like, don't focus so much on that very specific detail. Like, follow the general guidelines and general principles, and be ready to switch. Be adaptable, and that if something's not 100% right, all right. So, case in point, the Dickon handbook, right? Principle was, got to hunt to win. I got to hunt this certain area or these certain trails, but I got to hunt to win. I get there. I had a specific tactic put in mind that, all right, so I'm going to go do this. However, that wasn't going to work there. Like that, I would have failed if I had continued on with that very mission or that very specific tactic. So I'm like, all right, so let's dial back to the principle. Let's change exactly what we're doing. And then what do you know? We had success with that. So it's about adaptability. All principles, not exact tactics.
And I can tell you, I can't tell you how many times growing up that I sat in a bad stand knowing that it was a bad stand because I had no other options. I had committed to that area. I had signed into that area. That was where I was gonna hunt. Um, and it was a wasted hunt. I mean, you know what I mean? Um, so doing it this way, you've got a lot more options available.
You do. You do. And it's the quick change you need to, because some people like, how many times have you known people tell a story? It's like, man, I picked this stand. It was a perfect location. I'm sitting there and all the deer were like traveling, 50 to 100 yards from me. And I just never got a shot at them. And I'm like, did you try to move? Like, no, this is my stand. This is the stand I picked. Like, this is where I need to be. I'm like, probably should have moved. Probably should have just grabbed your stuff and moved, and you probably been surprised on how effective that had been. So